When Bitcoin is going to 30K. Stagnation. It's your boy Brazen. We're missing Double O today. We've been missing Double O for almost a week now, right? Hanging out in Nigeria, breathing the fresh air from the motherland. If you miss Double O, spam down in the comments, Double O Kenny. Double O Kenny in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, let's jump right into the show today. So we're going to be looking at Ethereum, ICP, Internet Protocol. It's kind of appropriate considering that public was down yesterday. And of course, Near Protocol, we're going to also be looking at that. Once we get into the news, we're going to be talking about crypto CEOs testifying before Congress. Actually, I think it's pretty cool that I kind of waited, right? I watched the meeting, if you will, the hearing before recording this video. Very interesting stuff. And of course, central banks tell Thai banks not to offer crypto trading. And last but not least, anti-crypto comptroller nominee withdraws after scrutiny from Senate. Now, before we jump into the show here, I want to just remind everyone that from December 17th to the 19th, right, we were invited by our good friend Ronnie for his RONNIE'S cryptocurrency masterclass. We're going to be teaching people, right? So if you're a beginner and you want to learn about staking, yield farming, and of course how to use some wallets, we'll be showing people how to use at least 3 wallets in this masterclass. I'm going to leave a link in the description on how you can join, and yeah, hopefully it is of value to you and you learn something new from that. Well then, with no further ado, let's jump right into the action here. The first thing we're going to be looking at, my charts are off, one moment. First thing we're going to be looking at is Ethereum, sitting at a very interesting place, trading currently at $4,412. Now, Ethereum was running through this nice bullish continuation channel here before things stopped, right? At all-time high. And that all-time high there was just right there at the 1 Fibonacci retracement extension, right around 4,800. Then it pulled back. Now, the good news is, it's not continuously falling. It's a different story from Bitcoin, right? We've seen a massive drop from Bitcoin. In previous analysis that we did, we put, you see the pink lines which we have there are our support and resistance level. Now we noticed that Ethereum definitely came down there to that first, all the way down to that resistance line, which we put there around $4,026. Another interesting thing is that we are seeing a triple bottom. We're seeing a triple bottom, and if you're looking at patterns, we know that triple bottom tends to be a bullish pattern, right? Things tend to push up after a triple bottom. So we'll see how that turns out. So far, everything is looking pretty good. We just need to see that this candle moves up above that, approaches that 786.786 Fibonacci retracement level there, which we drew a circle there to indicate that. And if the candle opens and closes above that and reaches for that 1 Fibonacci and crosses that, then we are above all-time highs. Generally, things tend to run once they cross that 1 Fibonacci level if you've been using a Fibonacci retracement tool before, right? Of course, TTM moving in the right direction, even though not looking very strong right now. We'll see if that changes. Awesome oscillator as well. We can see that it's bounced off. It's reversing right now. We have a green candle there, if you will, and it'd be nice if we can hold that momentum and see Ethereum continue to push. If it crosses that all-time high, then I think definitely $6,000 is definitely possible in the near future. Moving on, we're going to be looking at ICP. So ICP is internet computer, right? And I think this one is appropriate for this time because yesterday, right, if you're a user of public, the public investment app went down. Now it was not public's fault. It was, you know, AWS, right? AWS services had an issue, so the service that hosts the public application was down. Now I think that this is also very interesting, what ICP brings to the marketplace, the crypto marketplace, because one thing that we're trying to definitely, I don't want to say control, but one thing that we're trying to achieve, right, is reduced censorship, right? Reduced censorship. I mean, I think total censorship is, it's an interesting world. I don't know how that would go over, but at least reducing censorship, and of course bad actors get penalized. But that is what ICP is all about. Currently trading at $31. Now the interesting thing with this one is, well, it's not an interesting thing, this is just more like a confession. When I bought ICP, this is one of those ones that I bought at the top, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I think I bought it much higher than Kenny did. I bought that around I think it was like $180 to $200, somewhere up there, and ever since then it's just been ripping to the downside. Now the cool thing about this is we can see that after it was falling for a while, it found support around that $29.39 price point there. Tried moving up, did not work out, but it came back and it still held that support at $29. So we know that we definitely have some support at that $29 price point there. And the other interesting thing is, if you've looked at, at least this is a pattern that seems to be emerging, right? An ICO pattern, very much like in the stock market, you have IPO patterns. With some cryptos, right, they open up, the thing rips down and it goes sideways for a very long time. You can pull up Shiba and a few others, Dogecoin. Well, Dogecoin is a different story, but they go sideways for a while until the time comes when they decide to just take off and rip to the upside. This is definitely something that I think will be very useful in the future as we adopt crypto more and more, right? As Web 3.0 comes through. Also something that was spoken about a lot in the hearing earlier today. Now, I'm just gonna take a little bit of a dive, right? We're not gonna necessarily go for a deep dive into what ICP is, but just a little bit more information on ICP. So ICP is the Internet Computer, right? Internet Computer is the world's first blockchain that runs on web speed with unbound capacity. It also represents the third major blockchain innovation alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum. So one thing that ICP provides here is definitely that seamless, limitless capacity for hosting services. So if you're building an application, right? Currently, if you're building an application like Let's Take Public, for example, right? They have to host these services on we know now that they host their services on AWS, right? And that is controlled by one entity. So if something goes wrong, well, then you've gone, you're out. The other downside to that is censorship. A good recent example would be an app like Parler. It was a conservative app. Whether you believe in it's not political, right? Whether you agree with it or not, but the fact is they were able to pull Parler off AWS. They were able to pull it off any app store, right? And people could not get it. Even if you don't agree with people, I think those people still have their right to their speech. So that is something that is definitely something to keep an eye out for. This is the Internet Computer website. A lot of things going on here. I mean, it seems like almost everything Web3 is going on here. Very strong project. The partners that they have, right? Uber, Oracle, some really strong partners. Definitely a project that I believe in. Of course, the price action is not very encouraging right now, but it's one of those things, man. You have to do your research, right? Based on the research that I've done, I feel okay with holding on to this. And if it does not ever work out, if it doesn't ever pan out, hey, look, man, you just put your money where your mouth is, right? At the end of the day. So the thing has definitely fallen below that 0 Fibonacci extension line there. Again, we're still close to that $29 support level. So we're seeing it's a little bit reaching here, but no, I was going to say we're seeing some higher highs, but I don't think that is a higher high. We're just, still right there at the support level. So just hanging out at support right now. I'm definitely going to be buying some more ICP. The one I have right now is just in the total loss. That's for sure. So definitely an interesting one. Definitely check it out. Not financial advice, as with everything else we'll be talking about here. Definitely do your own research and do not invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Moving on. The next one we're going to be looking at here is Near Protocol. So Near Protocol, I'm not invested in this one yet, right? Still just, we have a list of things that we have gone through, searched for, and we're holding this list and we're monitoring all of these things. This is one of those ones. Based on price action is really what I'm going to be going off of right now, because I'm still doing some research on this. I'm not 100% sure on it yet, but from a price action point standpoint and a technical analysis standpoint, I see an opportunity to make some ka-ching. So what is Near Protocol? Near Protocol is a layer 1 blockchain that was designed as a community-run cloud computing platform, and that eliminates some of the limitations that have been bugging competing blockchains, such as low transaction speeds, this is true, low throughput, and poor interoperability. This provides the ideal environment for dApps and creates a developer and user-friendly platform. This is definitely something that it sounds like will help with crypto adoption. This is one of the reasons why I was interested in it, because if we can make crypto, the use of crypto, much easier, I think that more and more people will be able to adopt it. Because as awesome as crypto is, it forces everyone to have to attain a certain level of education in cryptography, or just blockchain or cryptocurrency in general. Now, of course, not all of us are going to be engineers. Not all of us can be engineers, let's put it that way. I don't plan to become an engineer anytime soon either myself, but at the same time too, not everyone cares about being an engineer. So being able to simplify things so that people can just use it, because ultimately a lot of people don't care what your code says or how impressive it is. They just want to know, what will this do for me? And I think that this is one of those ones that could bring some value, could help with crypto adoption, making things a little bit more easier for people to interact with the blockchain. I'll be dropping the link to their website as well in the description, so if you would like to check it out and do some more research on it. One of the things I really want to look at right now are who are the people behind this project, who is backing the project, and then from there I'll be able to make my decision. However, from a price or a technical analysis standpoint, we can see that despite what is going on in the market right now, and a lot of things, right, a lot of things are down below that 200-day moving average. This one actually found support around that 200-day moving average and has been moving up. It has crossed the 0 Fibonacci extension line. It has crossed the 0.236 Fibonacci extension line right there around that $8.91. And the thing is, these are resistance lines. We have now crossed that line. Right, we are now approaching that 0.382 Fibonacci extension. I'm pretty positive that once this, I mean, right now it's already moving in the right direction. It's above the 100-day moving average, it's above the 20-day, and it's above the 50. I would like to see that 20-day moving average cross back above that 50-day moving average. At that point, we're going to be having a straight arrow to the sky, and I'll be looking to collect my profits once we get to around $13. That's really where I'm expecting it to top out at. So definitely going to be buying some of this. Not financial advice, please do your own research. And where it's sitting right now, it just looks very healthy to me, right? TTM is definitely moving in the right direction as well. So is the awesome oscillator. Well, not 100% yet, but the awesome oscillator is definitely not falling right now, it's holding. So we'll see what the next one shows, and if it starts reversing, then that is definitely good for Near Protocol. Interesting stuff there. Moving on to the news then. Crypto CEOs testify before Congress. 6 things to watch. Crypto CEOs testify before Congress on Wednesday. Here is what to watch for. On Wednesday morning, that was this morning, so I've already, this article is a little bit dated now, but there are no new articles explaining what happened so far. I'm pretty sure there's going to be by the time I finish recording this video. But on Wednesday morning, top executives from 6 crypto firms, Coinbase, Circle, FTX, Paxos, Bitfury, and Stellar, will testify before the House of Congress Committee on Financial Services. The event, which will be live streamed, it was already live streamed, I will also leave a link if you'd like to go watch it again, reflects crypto growing importance in Washington, D.C. and could influence the future regulation of the fast-growing industry. The hearing will see executives deliver written testimony, which you can read here, and community members grilling them on what they say. So like I said, I've already watched this. I would not necessarily say it was much of a grilling, but it was a 5-hour meeting. Right, so everyone had the opportunity to ask all sorts of questions. They were all recognized for 5 minutes. Some of them yielded their time back. Here are some things to watch out for. The official agenda for the hearing is focused primarily on stablecoins. Yeah, they spoke a lot about stablecoins, and I thought it was really good conversations they had. But according to a person involved in its preparations, it's likely to entail a much broader discussion about crypto and its place in the economy and society. Here are 6 things to watch for. Will Congress take crypto's potential crypto's potential seriously? Well, I guess we can answer these questions now because I already watched the live stream. But yes, I think Congress takes this seriously. From what we saw, and not only did they take it seriously, I think a lot of people in Congress actually like crypto, because some of these questions they were asking the CEOs was really playing into their hands, giving them an opportunity to really knock the ball out of the park there. It was beautiful. A few others were not on board with it, and I think some of the people I like to commend really, Mr. Davidson, Mr. Lucas, Mr. Sessions, Mr. Gregory Mix, Ms. Torres. I was impressed. I think these people, I don't know, they seem to be on board with crypto, is what it seems like, even though most of the articles we generally see makes it seems like the government is against crypto. Now, when it comes to the SEC and the feds, that is definitely a different story. As we know, the government is an octopus, man, so we have to keep an eye out for these things. Some of the things that I thought were noteworthy here, definitely stable coins. They spoke extensively about stable coins, designating a regulator to audit stable coins, right? So making sure that if a stable coin company says that they have X amount of dollars backing their cryptocurrency, then they should actually have that in reserves. I will say through this whole thing, Tether was looking really bad. As the more you keep thinking about Tether and you see USDC was sitting right there backing their product, and Tether was nowhere to be found. You just have to make sure that the recording was still going. The other thing that I really thought was pretty interesting there, the SEC. So it seems the SEC likes playing some really weird games. As we know, the SEC has been suing XRP for a very long time now, and it's a really strange relationship that the SEC has with Tether, with XRP at this point, because we know that some employees at the SEC are holding XRP, but they're suing XRP. Which is interesting because it would only tell me that these people realize that XRP will win. And when XRP wins, the price is going to go to the sky. Now, digging deeper on that, I think the SEC also needs to define what securities are, because cryptocurrencies are not being considered securities. So the SEC will not regulate them, but the SEC will not tell them either what it is or what they are and how they can be classified. So I think there's definitely needs to be a whole new department for that situation. And of course, regulation that could be driving innovation out of the US, right? So I think one of the other things is that I spoke about in this hearing was just how regulation can be brought forth without necessarily stifling innovation in the cryptocurrency space. And that is not helping, because that puts the United States behind the curveball when it comes to these technologies. And we definitely want to be out there competitive with the rest of the world. There are things that are accessible in other countries and they're not accessible in the US. What makes it riskier in the US is something that they definitely brought up. So definitely interesting stuff. I'm definitely going to be leaving the link to that in the description. Moving on, central banks tell Thai banks not to offer crypto trading. The Bank of Thailand doesn't want local banks or businesses using crypto, while the tourism ministry is still trying to attract crypto whales. The Bank of Thailand has stated that it does not want commercial banks to be directly involved in trading cryptocurrencies. The edict came from the central bank senior director, I'm not going to try to pronounce their name, on December 7th, who cited risk associated with the high price volatility. We don't want banks to be directly involved in digital asset trading because banks are responsible for customer deposit and the public, and there is risk. You know, it is very interesting that most of the time when you have governing bodies or regulators who try to find a reason for saying no to crypto, essentially, right? For rejecting crypto, they always refer to money laundering, they refer to volatility. Well, the thing is, right now, the amount of money laundering going on with fiat currency is, I would say, it's probably as high as it is in crypto. It's not something that has been fully stopped in the fiat currency. So I don't think that's an excuse. It's not a good thing, but it's definitely not an excuse not to move forward with the innovation. 2, volatility is life. Okay, volatility is the reason why you're able to make gains in any asset, whether it's the stock market or in cryptocurrency. There is volatility in the stock markets. Furthermore, inflation is volatility. Okay, so I think that is something that they should be focusing more on instead of trying to restrict technology and innovation itself. And I will also add onto this that people decide what money is, right? If you go back through history, you see that society has always decided what money is going to be, whether it's trading with gold, trading with stones, or just trade by barter, right? Milk, whatever the case might be, all the way up until the fiat. Society always decided what money is. So if we are at a point where society is now deciding that, hey, crypto is the way to go, then all this looks like is people who stand to benefit the most from fiat. Market closed. The portfolio performance wasn't impressive today. I'll say that much. If it just seems like those who stand to gain the most from fiat are just trying to be gatekeepers, right? Trying to stop growth. Trying to stop people from making gains, but they can't stop us. You know that. Biden's controversial anti-crypto comptroller nominee withdrawals. Saule Omavoro backed out of her nomination to be the comptroller of currency amid a blizzard of scrutiny over her positions on crypto and banking. The office of the comptroller of the currency in the USA will operate with only an acting comptroller for a little longer after President Biden's nominee, Saule Omavoro, withdrew her candidacy from the confirmation process. If you ask me, I think we dodged the bullet there. In response to Omavoro's withdrawal, President Biden said on December 7, Saule was subjected to inappropriate personal attacks that were far beyond the pale. I watched some of that. I watched some of the interrogations. She was not subjected to personal attacks. Here's the thing. If you go back and look at some of this woman's works, if you go back and just pull up YouTube and just search some of the things that she believes in, right? Whoo! I'll just leave it there. But anyway, I think one of the things that they were criticizing her for were her views, right? And what seems like her support for communism and things like that. And then she also has other radical views like squeezing businesses out by refusing them access to loans, right? Well, now, of course, she's trying to how would you say? She's trying to cushion it by saying that these are companies that are contributing to environmental destruction, if you will. But let's read on. Republican Senator Mike Crapo challenged Omavoro to explain her position on federally chartered banks as they pertain to climate change. She advocates for the banking system having the power to put climate change contributing industries, which she referred to as socially suboptimal industries, out of business by preventing them from accessing bank loans. Accessing to bank loans, typo. From accessing bank loans. Now, having someone like this in a place of such power, what does that mean for us? Do you just get to come up with a strategy to essentially take out the people that you do not agree with? It's one of those things. And look, climate change is an important matter. I get it. But in many cases as well, for us to get to a point where there is zero climate change, those solutions are, I think they're more scary than climate change itself. So there is that for sure. Anyway, her position states, the way we get rid of these carbon financiers is we starve them out of their source of capital. Impressive. In light of Omavoro's backing out, President Biden will have to nominate another candidate for the comptroller. Well, we hope the next one is better than the last one, sir. All right. With that then, it's a very short one today, ladies and gentlemen, but we'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching our videos, clicking the like button, commenting. Please comment and let us know what you think, especially of if you watch the hearing that happened today, right? If you watch the hearing before Congress with the crypto CEOs, if you watch that, let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think that it will be good for crypto? And one thing that they do not touch on there that I'm actually interested in knowing is the decentralized space. How do they plan to tackle that? So, but I will say overall, it definitely left me feeling a little bit better about participating in crypto. And I think we're going to definitely come out on top. The crypto community, that is. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, your boy Brazen out.